Hey friends, welcome back. Okay, in the last tutorial we were introduced to Math.random, whereby we can use the Math object in JavaScript to generate a random number between 0 and 1, or as I said more specifically, between 0 and 0.999 continuous. We also saw that we can use Math.round to essentially round a number to the nearest, whole number. So obviously, 0.12 would be rounded down to 0, but something like 0.89 would be rounded up to 1. There's other ways as well you can round off numbers. So there's Math.floor and there's Math.ceil, which I'll introduce you to. Math.floor, what that will do is that will essentially round a number down and then discard everything after the decimal place. So let me show you an example of this, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a variable. We'll say let number equal, and I'm going to assign it the value of 1.44, okay? 1.44. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out to the console that number, but I'm going to use Math.floor. So remember, when you're using the Math object, you just write the word Math with a capital M, .floor, and then parentheses. And what I want to do is I want to pass in that number variable. And remember, number has a value of 1.44. So what's going to happen when I refresh this in the Google Chrome and we look at the console? Well, what's going to happen is Math.floor is going to floor this number down to the nearest whole number. So that'll be 1, okay? It'll basically discard everything after the decimal place. So to prove that to you, if I just refresh, we get 1, okay? I could change that number, let's say, to be 5.34. Again, as I say, Math.floor will essentially round down to the nearest whole number and discard everything after the decimal place. So if I refresh again, we're going to get 5. It is also the case as well that even if I, let's say, put in 5.99, you're probably thinking that's going to give us 6. Well, let's have a look. We still get 5, and that's because, as I say, Math.floor will essentially just discard everything after the decimal place and round the number down to the nearest whole number. If you feel, for whatever reason you're working with the number 5.99 and you wanted to round to the nearest number, well, then you could use Math.round. That will round the number to the nearest whole number, but Math.floor will basically round it down. Believe it or not, it's quite useful when you're trying to mimic a dice roll, which we can do in the next tutorial. The other thing then I want to show you is Math.ceil. So what Math.ceil will do is actually round up a number. Ceil, you could almost think of it as like ceiling, okay? It's like the top. So if we say console.log, I'm going to say Math.ceil, if I can spell ceil correctly, parentheses. Let's pass in number here and semicolon to end the statement being that line of code. So we saw with Math.floor how that would round down 5.99. With Math.ceil, this should round up and give us the number 6. So if I save and refresh, we get the number 6. And if we try a different number, maybe I'll say like 2.555, what's going to happen? It should round that number up to the number 3. And we get 3. Again, what if we had, let's say, 2.1345? Well, again, if you want to go to the nearest whole number, you use Math.round. Math.ceil will round up to the next whole number. So that would actually, in this case, still give us 3. And just to prove that to you, if I change the number to be 4.1345, again, what ceil will do is round it up to the nearest, or to the next number, which in this case will be 5. So Math.ceil rounds up and Math.floor will round down. Okay, right, that's awesome. I think what we'll do is we'll take what we've learned over the last few tutorials now working with numbers and learn how to create a dice roll in JavaScript. So I'll show you that in the next tutorial.